Okay, fellow YouTubers, this is my first, actually my second video. I deleted my first one on ulcerative colitis. This is my story and how I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis. Back in 2003, I was teaching. I had a very stressful job. The boss wasn't making any things easier. But a long story short, I shouldn't blame anybody. I should just say that I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and I had the diarrhea, the bleeding, you name it, the severe pain in the stomach and feeling very weak. I went through even bouts of anxiety and even depression, but I feel that experience made me stronger. I feel great. I have been dealing since 2003 all the way up until 2011. I've had my good years and my bad years. I tried everything from using nature's sunshine or herbal products from traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, which is short term for traditional Chinese medicine. None of that stuff worked for me. I know that everybody's body type is different, so just try to hear what I have to say and try some of the stuff out and see if it works for you. So that's very important to remember. I'll probably repeat it at the very end also as well. Let's see. Look, somebody's here. Never mind. So I went to the hospital. Never stayed overnight. Just day visits. I was released the same day. Never stayed overnight. But I always went for dehydration because of severe diarrhea symptoms. I will go to the bathroom up to 23 to 25 times a day. And as the years have passed by, I was also on medication from they made salamine, which they call Acecol, or now they call it Pentasa, but back then I was taking the Acecol. Prednisone, which is a steroid. I would take that off and on every time I would get a flare up. My GI specialist doctor would give me that. And after taking it for a while, off and on throughout the years, I feel like I would get arthritis in my hand, and I didn't like the feeling, but I would still take it because I needed it. Sometimes I would get mad real easy, really heated because of the steroids. I would try to exercise whenever I would feel great. But the main thing that I noticed about me that really helped me pretty much go into remission, because from 2003 to 2011, I would go to the ER off and on when I would get really sick for dehydration. And luckily, I didn't lose a lot of blood, but I felt like I did. I mean, every bowel movement had lots of blood. And I felt like I was going to faint. The pain was so severe. From 2003 to 2011, that's 8 years. I cried once, I guess. It was just too much pain. I couldn't bear it. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. All I have to say is what helped me the most was, especially during the flare-ups, was to take loperamide, which is an ingredient found in Imodium AD. I was taking the liquid, but now I'm taking the pills, which I feel the pills are better. They last longer, and you don't have to buy so many of the over-the-counter Imodium AD. And now that we have the Affordable Health Care Act, I actually have health insurance now. Before I didn't. Last bout I had was in 2011. The county had some program. They helped me out for a few months. Everything was out of pocket. I sold my house. I couldn't afford it. I lost my house. But the good thing is I got money out of it when I sold it. So that's how I was able to pay for the doctors. And once I ran out of money in 2011, I started freaking out because I wasn't able to afford them in salamine anymore, and I was still very sick. I couldn't even afford to go see my GI specialist anymore. So I pretty much just prayed a lot, and I put myself in the hands of God. For me, it was a very spiritual thing for me to do that. It gave me a sense of relief. I was ready to go. If I died, I didn't care. I mean, I didn't want to feel these things. I would rather be dead. Like I said, the loperamide and taking, let's see, eating right. The diet was huge. The diet was the deal breaker. I couldn't eat tomato or lettuce, nothing that caused acid. No tomato, no lettuce, no oranges, which sometimes I could eat and I was fine. I don't know how that works, but I guess everybody's body is different. I guess my body was changing. Um, I could eat grapes, but for the most part, the most worst bout that I had, I couldn't even eat none of that stuff, not even no lettuce or grapes. Um, Especially not beans or broccoli because those cause gas. And since your colon is already flared because they call it a flare up, um, it would cause more discomfort and pain and more bleeding. The colon is already damaged, the intestines are all damaged, so anything that I would eat would cause me to go with diarrhea and more bleeding and get worse. So I was on a very strict diet. I could actually eat white breads, the carbs. I could eat white breads. I was fine with that. But for the most part, even the white breads after a while irritated me. So the main thing I would eat is Campbell soup with cornstarch flour. I would mix it in really well. Water and Gatorade and peaches. That was my diet for about 4 months, the whole summer. Back in 2011, that helped me out. And I was no longer on medication anymore. And I found this video on this lady on YouTube. I forgot her name, but I might tell you in the next video if I find her. If not, then I'll tell you exactly what I did. But stomach massage was a deal breaker also. Between the loperamide, the stomach massage, and the diet, that helped me go pretty much into remission. So late 2011, I would say December, all the way up until recently in December 31st of 2016, almost 6 years. I have been in remission, and I was able to eat everything, no medication. I was able to drink alcohol too, wine on special occasions, eat super spicy food. You name it. I ate tomatoes, onions, hamburgers. I would load it up with even more onion. I could even go to Carl's Jr. and put wax peppers there if I wanted to. I just had to be careful and not eat too much of it because then I would get normal symptoms like anybody else would get, which is regular hemorrhoids, and I have to use suppositories and not eat any acidy foods for about 2 to 3 weeks, and I'll get better. So, like I said, those 3 things really helped me out, and I hope that this video helps you out some. In the next video, I'll cover some of the specific foods that cause me issues. Right now, all I can tell you is no foods that cause gas. No beans, no broccoli, no eggs. They cause a lot of gas on me. I don't know about you. You can try it out. But I did a food journal. I wrote down foods that actually affected me and foods that helped me not go to the bathroom. Because immediately once I would eat the wrong food, I would go to the bathroom right away with diarrhea and pain and headaches and all that other wonderful stuff. But that's what would help me out. Recently, I have gotten sick again, but that's because I took too much ibuprofen for muscle pull that wouldn't let me go to sleep for 3 days. I took ibuprofen, then I took some Aleve, and then I took some naproxen sodium, and that was for 3 weeks. I got better. I re-injured myself, so I took it for another 3 weeks. I got food poisoning, and I ended up in the ER. Pretty much within the week, I ended up in the ER, going to the bathroom with diarrhea and then bleeding, and then it got so bad to where I had a full-on flare-up. But then again, if you go look at the Mayo Clinic or search anywhere on Google and you type, what happens if I drink too much ibuprofen? And I will tell you, anybody, even normal people who do not have ulcerative colitis, will get a flare-up in their colon. And they will have bleeding. And ibuprofen does wear out the lining of your stomach too, from what I've read in my internet research too as well. So that it was that taking ibuprofen for 6 weeks. I was taking it over the counter at first, and I was taking 600 milligrams in the morning, 600 milligrams at night, sometimes 3 times a day. Half the time I would take it on an empty stomach. That was a bad idea. I should have known better. So now I'm getting better. I've been I went to the doctor and I told them about my past history. They're thinking it might be colitis, so I was referred to Stanford, and I'll also update you too on that on my next video. But I can honestly tell you They put me on steroids and mesalamine. I'm not taking the steroids anymore. This was in January 10th. Today's February the 3rd, I believe. I'm not sure. It's Friday. So all I've got to tell you is that I haven't even been drinking the mesalamine and I feel great. I first tried tomato yesterday after I got back from Stanford. I'll be going back for my results soon. Stay tuned for my next video. And take care. And God bless.